Hi guys, I'm Woodcraft Hamster and I thought I'd do another quick video today in our making a carving knife series. So this is the blade that we've been making so far, and since the last video I've just tidied up the shape of the blade, smoothed down the tang a little bit so to where I want it to be, and really the next step now is putting the bevel onto the blade. Now I'm going to go with a fairly sort of traditional Scandinavian style grind. That's the kind of thing that I like to use when I'm carving. I'm debating at the moment whether I'm going to put a bit of a right-handed bias on this because that tends to be how I use it. So as we go through the process I'll probably make a decision part way through and we'll go from there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move the camera a little bit closer in for you guys and I'll give you a little bit of a look at my setup here. Okay guys, so this is my very technical, albeit improvised jig setup. What I've got is just a piece of board that's a random piece of furniture that I dismantled. I've screwed onto that just a small hand vise. I've got a couple of bits of threaded bar here that are bolted in to make it nice and secure, and a piece of timber in the middle with a couple of screws in. Now the way this works is I've actually got my blade clamped in here on a piece of wood that I'm going to be using on both sides so that it will keep it the same height and at the same level on either side. And then I have another piece of timber that I've very crudely duct taped a file to, which is what I'm going to be using to remove the material. Now the idea of these two screws is that your piece of timber goes in here, you've got a nice positive stop there, and you can place your file on there and your file will be cutting in the same place every time. And again, when I come to do the other side of the blade, I can just move this piece of a small bit of timber over here, flip the blade round and do the same on the other side. So really, just very quickly, what I'm going to be doing is a draw file as opposed to a sort of a pull file. So rather than doing this, which you can do, there's no reason why not, but from a lot of the videos I've seen, and as I said in my past videos, this is the first time I've made a knife, so this is really my first attempt. And what I'm going to be doing is sort of locking this piece of timber off onto this left hand screw here and draw filing across. Now if I just make a couple of sort of sweeps, already you can kind of see the progress that we're making, and if I just pop that out the vise, hopefully you can sort of see where the beginnings of that edge is coming, certainly in comparison to the other side where we've got nothing on there. So you can very much see the beginnings of that edge, and what I'm going to be doing is just carrying on with this until I get maybe a quarter of the way down. Some people like to mark a line in the centre here to see how far you're going. I'm actually going to try and do it by eye because that's something that I would like to do. And I'm going to see how it goes from there. So I'm going to spend probably 10-15 minutes on this and I'll come back when we've made a little bit more progress. Right then guys, so I've been at this about 10 minutes now, and hopefully you can see we're starting to get a good view of what this bevel is going to look like. We haven't made a great deal of progress as far as depth into the material's gone, and that's fine. I mean, as I've said before, filing away material for something like this is quite a long process. You know, it's not something you're going to be able to do very quickly, and you just need to take your time with it. But there are a couple of things I just wanted to mention before I carry on, and one of them, which is one of the most important, is the angle at which you're doing this. Now, what I should have mentioned earlier is that the threaded bar here with the nuts so that I can adjust it are there so that I can adjust the angle. So here, this is give or take 11 degrees. Now I have a sort of level rule thing app on my phone, so I can set my phone on there and it will tell me I've got 11 degrees. If you wanted a different kind of angled bevel, you can move the piece of wood here up and down accordingly to get to the bevel you want. A sort of a fairly sort of moderate Scandinavian grind in total is about 22 degrees. That's 11 degrees on either side of the blade. So that's the first bit. Make sure, you know, the reason for this setup is that so you can get the angle that you want. Secondly is as you're filing, you'll probably notice, as I have over the last sort of 10 minutes or so, that your file starts to lose a little bit of its bite, and the reason for that is it just gets gummed up with material. So all you want to do is take a file card, or something like this in my case, which is just a standard wire brush, and just give the file a little bit of a clean out. And what you'll find is once you've done that, removed a lot of that material that's got caught up in the teeth of the file, and your file will start biting a lot better. Now, I've still got a fair way to go with this, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to carry on. I'll finish off this side and I'll flip over to the other, and I'll bring you guys back when we're a little bit closer to finishing this off. Right then guys, well, I've been at this for the best part of the afternoon, and to be honest, I'm starting to lose the light, and more importantly, I'm starting to lose the feeling in my hands. So I'm going to call this a day for now. So what I thought I'd do is show you kind of where we've got to. So this is the sort of the main right hand cutting edge, as I said, and then the other side we've got the bevel in there as well. Hopefully that's showing up okay on the camera. Now there's still a little bit of a way to go, and I'm not sure if you can see that here. There's probably about 2 millimeters of material left on that blade, and what I want to do is basically get the two bevels to join up. I'm not concerned about them being sharp, and actually the blunter they are, the better for the next stage of the process, which is going to be hardening. So what I basically want to do is just get those two to meet, because once I've hardened this blade, it's going to be much more resistant to filing, which I'm hopefully not going to need to do any more of, and certainly grinding on a water stone, and that's just going to make it that little bit more difficult. So the closer I can get to an edge on here, the better. What I don't want to do is actually put a proper sharp edge on this, because it will potentially burn away during the heating process. So that's it for today, guys. I'll finish this off camera, ready for our next video. But I hope it was useful. Any comments and questions in the boxes below. Hit like and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I hope you'll all join me next time. Thanks guys.